Now, I've always been interested in seeing the way firearms have evolved over the years, and since the bullet itself was invented with the built-in percussion cap and the case and the round in the end, nothing really has changed. Nothing really. I mean, the guns have got better, they've refined the calibers, the twist rates, the power output, and they've refined it, because the World War One rifles were far too powerful and too accurate for most soldiers to handle. We never fired rifles more than 300 yards, 300 metres, with iron sights, telescopic sights, and shooting up to 1,000 yards or more. That was a separate art altogether, but your average soldier could only shoot to 300 yards, so what was the point of having a rifle that can shoot 1,000 yards when most soldiers couldn't hit anything at 1,000 yards? This is why calibers have come down in size from big old 303, 308, 7 whatever, down to where they are today. 5.56 is the NATO standard. It didn't need to be as powerful as the 308. So, getting back to submachine guns, it's very difficult to control a fully automatic burst with a pistol. And I've got the, as you've seen before, this is the M712, I think is a stupid name, isn't it? So there we are. We've got 20 rounds here. We've got a target downrange, and I'm going to hit it with a fully automatic burst, which will last about 2 seconds. Okay, and we're going to see how accurate I can get that burst on that target. We've got a paper target set up, and we're going to have a few goes, and we're going to see just what the problem is, because it needs to be controllable. It really does. And this is where the submachine gun came in. And the submachine gun, although it was invented by the Germans first, they got it out there first. The Germans also got the first assault rifle out there, which is a rifle caliber round in a rifle that can fire fully or semi-auto, which sort of was the death nail in the coffin for the submachine gun, because a lot of armies don't use submachine guns anymore. But let's get one thing at a time. Let's look at the target, let's focus on the target, and let's see how close we can get a full automatic grouping. And we're not actually far away. I'll go from the door down the yard to the bottom of the yard, and we'll see how we get on. Now, I don't know if you know or not, but I've always been into machine guns, really. They're my favourite gun of all. I mean, there's lots of guns out there. And I fired my first machine gun when I was in the British Army. It was the Bren gun. Well, it was a 7.62 version of the Bren gun. The Bren gun was originally 303, and it was a fabulous piece of kit, and it had the same ammunition as the rifle, the 303 rifle that the British Army used. Now, the Bren gun wasn't really what I would call an assault rifle, but it was getting on that way. It was pretty close in a lot of respects. It was fully automatic, and it was single shot as well if you wanted to make it single shot. But it was big, it was heavy, it was rifle caliber ammunition, it had a serious range on it, and it wasn't very compact. So, although it was bordering on assault rifle, it really wasn't. It was a light machine gun. Now, in the First World War, the Germans, as you know, had these big long rifles that were 100-foot long with a bayonet on the end. I'm exaggerating, they were really long though. And in trench warfare, the trenches aren't really long. They zigzag so that you can't fire a shot all the way down the trench. So it's pretty close. And when you've got enemy soldiers dropping in, they found that the big bolt action rifle, which was great for single shots at long range, but it was no good for firing at close quarters, and so they found that their pistols were much better. Now, the pistol is a semi-automatic thing, and so Jerry would jump up and he'd go bam, 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 click. He's out of ammunition, and he thought, well, they're really good at close quarters, but we really need something a bit better. So they invented a magazine for the Luger snail drum magazine, which sort of came out beyond the handle, and then it wound itself around in a drum. Well, hence it was called the snail drum magazine. So they popped that onto the Luger. It was quite an expensive thing. So next time the enemy soldiers came, one would throw one's rifle down, pick out one's Luger with the broom hand, with the snail drum magazine, and bam, 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 bam. Now we had 30 rounds, bam, 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 bam. And they thought, this is great, this is really good. We could really do with it to fire a bit faster. And so we thought, okay, so what they really wanted was a machine pistol, a fully automatic pistol. And they thought, right, okay. So they played with the Luger. They also played with the broom handle Mauser, the C96, which fired single shot. So they played around. We didn't get the fully automatic C96, which was the M712 until the 1930s, but they did play with them. They did try to get them to fire faster, but the problem was they were uncontrollable. You know, they really did fire fast, but it was very, very difficult to control it. But what was successful was the magazine, the snail drum magazine. So someone had to come up with something that was a bit heavier and that could fire the 9mm pistols, wasn't too big, and it was usable in close quarters. It's a submachine gun, basically. So the job was on. Now the Americans had thought of this as well. The Americans had the 1911. I haven't got one here, but they wanted the same sort of idea, a fully automatic, but they wanted it in 45 ACP. Luger was in 9mm. So they were the two calibers that sort of came forward, and they did try fully automatic mode with the 1911 pistol without real success in any way. But the idea was there. They had fully automatic pistols, but they just weren't just controllable, so they needed something else. And so Mr. Thompson went away to design his Thompson submachine gun, and Bergman and Hugo Schmeiser went away to develop the MP-18, which was the machine pistol 18. And the machine pistol 18 was the first submachine gun in the world to arrive. It arrived with the German army in 1918. That was right near the end of the war. The Thompson submachine gun didn't make it. By the time it was ready, the war was over. So Mr. Thompson lost out there. Otherwise they would have made a lot more of them at the time. Now the MP-18 used the Luger snail drum magazine because that was very successful and they had loads of them. But it was a funny angle, so the thing sort of slotted into the gun and had this snail drummy thing, and that was the one, the Mark 1 MP-18. That's the one they used first, but there was a Mark 2, 3 and a Mark 4, I believe. And eventually Mr. Hugo Schmeiser went away and rubbed his chin and thought, we need to get rid of this Luger magazine. It's very expensive. And he came up with a stick magazine, a straight stick that held 30 rounds, shoved it in the side of the gun, and it was a double stack single feed magazine, which could be improved on in years to come, but it worked quite well, and that's what they used. And the first submachine gun in the world was born as we know it today, the MP-18. Okay, we've got about 6 yards here. Okay, eye protection. Don't forget the eye protection. Set to fully auto. Cocked and that's it. It's definitely out. And let's look at our target. There we are. So, got a couple out there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's about 10, isn't it? It's not very good, not very good at all. So 50% of the rounds fired missed the target. Okay, 20 rounds, here we go again. Let's see if I can get that in the shot. No, I can't really. I'll shoot it from behind. No, same place as before. Eye protection on, and without a guess, I think that was worse than the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 holes in the target there. Not very good at all. I'll have to go a bit closer. And the thing is, once you see where your rounds are going, you've got a little bit of adjustment to get it back onto the target, by which time you've run out of ammunition. So you have to carry a lot of ammunition if you own a submachine gun and you're firing it regularly. And people who went into battle with the MP-18, which was the first submachine gun in the world, would have to carry quite a few, because 30 rounds, as you know, is probably going to last about 3 seconds, something around that. And it's just not, it's not like Hollywood films where the magazine lasts for the whole movie. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll try from 5 yards. Hyper section. Here we go. Oh my god, that was even worse. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think, something like that. So realistically, we're losing 50% of our ammunition. Okay, so the last go. That's a gas. That was a lot better, but look at that. 1, 2, 3, just over 3 yards, what's that, 9 feet? And we've done a lot better with the target, with accuracy. But you really need to be super close. If there's any range, you know, you can't aim or get any accuracy so far. I'll have to keep practicing. Yeah, that one was a lot better. A lot better.